Oh yeah. Nice. That's a nice car right there. Oh yeah, I'd trade the Blackwood for this all day. Feels a little loose though, jeez. I think this is gonna need some more work. Probably more than the Cadillac. Ugh. 3 on the tree, baby. Oh yeah. You know, back before we had the engines introduced in our carriages, you know, this was a horseless carriage at the time. The cars that came out early resembled very much this old carriage design. Studebaker was in the carriage building business before they started building cars. They started all the way back in the 1850s when they had their blacksmith shop. So this is again what you would see, very rudimentary, large tires. You can see the problems with that being if you had mud or it broke on you. The suspension isn't nothing like what you were used to. It was very uncomfortable ride. This one had, you know, a cover which was rare. Not all of them had that. It just depends on how much you could afford for your carriage. So this one was covered, but obviously we don't have heat. We don't have AC. We don't have wipers. There's no lights on this one. And there's definitely not a place to hook up my phone to listen to my tunes in the non-existent stereo that was here. So this is what you would typically see prior to what we see on the road today. Started off as this, then, you know, that first generation of cars, they really just took a carriage and put a motor on it. And then of course we've evolved from there. But this is very commonplace right up until the late 1800s, early 1900s, depending on the rural area that you may have lived in. So one of the really cool things about the Studebaker Museum is its collection of presidential carriages. They've got quite a few of them here, but the one behind me is one of the reasons that I had to stop. We met Mr. Lincoln last year on Route 66, but this is the carriage that took him to the Ford Theater on April 14th, 1865, where at 10 o'clock he was shot at a play that he was watching. So this is his actual carriage. And remember, the Lincoln Hwy didn't start till 1913, and this is what it was named after, was Mr. Lincoln himself. So I wanted to stop by and see that. It's really hard to see, but there actually is an AL on each side of the door for Mr. Lincoln. Pretty cool stuff, worth checking out. Hey, found another Lincoln Hwy relic over here at the actual Studebaker Museum in South Bend, Indiana. A PrestoLite gas tank for the headlights. So PrestoLite should ring a bell to you if you know anything about the Lincoln Hwy, because Carl Fisher started PrestoLite, and they were very innovative in their gas-powered headlights for the cars, which often blew out when it was windy, but it was better than nothing at the time. So another cool little Lincoln Hwy artifact found here. '27 Commander, and right on it, this car was driven by Abe Jenkins, and New York to San Francisco. Lincoln Hwy, right? And at that time, when he did it in 1927, he set the record of 77 hours and 40 minutes, 3,302 miles. What a cool thing that he was doing on the Lincoln Hwy way back in the day, and they were setting records like it was Cannonball Run of the early 1920s. You gotta love this stuff. What most people don't know about Packard is that they actually started after carriage building, they got into electric cars first. So between 1902 and 1912, they produced 1,841 electric Packards. Here are some early examples of a 1907 right there, and a later one as well. But again, they started off with electric. And again, in 1900 to 1912, a third of all US cars were electric. So seeing this resurgence of electric cars today is pretty interesting because it was already going on that way. About 1912 is when you started seeing most electric car companies kind of giving up. Why? The electric starter. And Henry Ford invented the electric starter, put it on the Model T, and of course that car now was easy to start and much cheaper than an electric car, and it had a little bit longer of a range, unlike these that didn't have a very long range that you could drive them before they needed recharged. So we're seeing it again.